Hey, everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com coming to you with the Monday edition of Today in Sports Betting. As always, I'm joined by my partner in crime. It is the one and only Scott Reichel. Scotty, what's going on?
Well, nothing much. Pretty eventful day in sports yesterday. I say half sarcastically. You had the NBA All-Star Game, which was pretty interesting for total bettors. For the actual game itself, it was over after the first 7 minutes of the second quarter.
Yeah, that's about what I tuned in for too. That's about how much I watched. I watched the end of the second quarter.
You saw Curry and CP3 both catch alley-oop dunks.
I did. I saw that.
And then you saw Lillard and Curry take turns from half court, and the game was basically over at that point.
Yep. That was pretty much. What was that? An 100-point second quarter.
101 points.
There you go. Yeah.
Yep. So if you had the first half under in that one,
you're a moron.
But I also feel sorry for you because after a pretty underratedly low-scoring first quarter, if I can say that 80 is a low-scoring first quarter,
right?
101 wasn't exactly expected. I think that's safe to say.
Oh, man.
You had college basketball. You had some good games. I know Loyola Chicago clinched its ticket. Liberty already clinched its ticket because North Alabama was disqualified from the NCAA tournament. They were ineligible. But Liberty.
Well, you can't. That makes it sound like they did something wrong. They were just they haven't been in the conference long enough to qualify.
Yeah, I still don't really agree with that rule.
No,
it doesn't make any sense.
No, it's like you can join the conference, you pay us the money or whatever, but you don't get all the benefits. So
the same thing happened with Merrimack last year. I mean, they didn't have a tournament in the end, but they were the 1 seed, and they were basically just told, "Nah, you have to wait a year." It's just like, they walked in and they were the best team in the conference. I don't know what the problem is, but anyway.
Liberty has dominated that ASUN. They've been in the conference for 3 years. They've won the regular season and the conference tournament each and every year. So
yeah, well, the point is that Liberty already had a spot clinched for them, whether they won the game or not, but they ended up hanging up another banner. Loyola Chicago ended up winning.
I think the point in that game is that they forgot how to play defense, and we didn't cash our under. That's the point of that game.
The Liberty game?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I think I wasn't surprised North Alabama covered there. Because you have to wonder, even though that Liberty wants to hang the banner, was the motivation really there when you know going into the game you're going dancing no matter what? Maybe a little for the banner, but not as much as it normally would be for a mid-major school in that situation, where North Alabama has some pride to play for. But other than that, though, you had the Michigan State game. I think we both agree reluctantly that Michigan State probably clinched its ticket yesterday. I know you're a little bit less.
I think they could play themselves out of it. I'm not sure you believe that.
I think it's pretty much a wrap, but that's mostly because most of the bubble teams that we were talking about over the weekend, you had Drake. I know you had Colorado State lost to Nevada. You had a couple of bubble teams who ended up falling short. Seton Hall lost to St. John's. Funny game, though. Seton Hall was up 18-0 and lost the game, which I find kind of funny. But
classic.
Either way, a lot of the bubble teams, even Duke, just didn't play well over the weekend.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah,
I think Michigan State did enough, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will, and we'll see what happens with some of the teams that they expect to upsets in conference tournaments can upset everything too.
How about Maryland, by the way? You beat Michigan State by double digits. You look like you're going to make the tournament. You lose back-to-back games to Northwestern and Penn State at home, and you blow like an 18-point lead against Penn State.
Yeah, brutal.
Pretty bad.
It's brutal. By the way, Lunardi has Michigan State as one of the groups that not the last four in. They are last four buys.
I think that means they're basically
safe. They've still got Colorado State, Boise State, and Drake. So 3 from the Mountain West could make it.
You never exactly you never exactly know how many bid stealers are going to be in the big tournaments. Most likely 0, just being completely honest. But every now and then you get one conference that maybe has 1 or 2 shoo-ins, like the Mountain West, for example.
Yeah.
Say hypothetically in some ridiculous universe, you have a team like Wyoming win the Mountain West. San Diego State's going to get a clear outright bye.
Yes.
I'm not saying Wyoming's going to win it. I'm just saying that you might have a couple conferences where maybe one team was guaranteed to get in. And then if you have someone in the WCC, Gonzaga loses. St. Mary's wins the conference tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And Gonzaga's clearly getting an outright, and then the bubble just shrunk.
Right.
You have to wait and see, but still.
Yeah, that happens a lot. So we'll see. Right now they got the first 4 out: Utah State, Syracuse, St. Louis, and Seton Hall. That is a shame. That St. Louis team, Jesus, what a waste of talent, man. I think that's a top 25 talented team, and they just don't play like it about 40% of the time.
The COVID didn't help because it limited their schedule by about like 5 games, 6
You
games.
know what? Other teams have dealt with it too. So it didn't help Baylor either, but they did.
I said going into the conference tournament on Twitter, I'm not sure why St. Bonaventure is plus 375. They had the third lowest odds. They won the regular season title, so I wasn't sure why they were the third odds. And what do you know? They're playing for a conference title game. So VCU is a very good team. St. Louis, I actually didn't really watch much of it. I know that St. Louis was kind of down early and down often. Really couldn't dig itself out of a hole, kind of like Drake did. But yeah, at the end of the day, St. Louis said they're trying to schedule another opponent before the tournament. It's not going to matter, but I understand where they're coming from, where they know that they're not going to get in. And the NIT got shrunk to 16 teams this year. So it's not even just the NCAA tournament. They might just be trying to play in any tournament at all.
Well, I can't imagine the NIT not jumping at the chance to get St. Louis in there.
I agree. I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, there are other there's other tournaments to potentially play for. So you might look at a team like, I don't know, Vermont maybe, who got upset, who is still technically considered a decent team. Maybe St. Louis will play them, but we'll see. And shout out to Winthrop, by the way, who also clinched a spot.
Yeah, every lean I had cash today, Scott. Every pick I took lost. It was one of those days. Everything I looked at and discarded. Winthrop was one of them. A team that hadn't covered very well throughout the season, been on a nice run through the tournament, just running through everybody.
I watched the second half of that game. That was a destruction. It was like a 4-point game at the half, and then the game was over about 5 minutes into the second half.
Yeah, they're massive. So we got an interesting situation today, Scott. We've got a number of games on the board. You and I have lines for 5 of them.
Yep.
So we're gonna talk about a couple of those games and call it good. I know you got a play of the day coming tomorrow. I've already got mine rocking and rolling.
I got to make it sometime in the morning because there's only 5 games and it's missing lines for about, 10 of them.
Yeah, somewhere around there. I don't know. We got 15 games, but yeah, that's so we got the number 1 team in the nation in action. So we can talk about that. We've got Gonzaga. That line's gone to 18 now, at least at Bet Online, over St. Mary's. 142 is the total. Scott, quick quiz question. You might get this one right. What was the last team to beat Gonzaga in the tournament in the West Coast Conference?
I'm assuming it was St. Mary's in the title game.
It was St. Mary's. Yes, that is correct. That was a year
game. What? 2 years ago?
Year before last, right? Correct. Now they did play the tournament last year, but they didn't.
I remember sitting in the college library watching that instead of writing a paper, and I think Gonzaga had like 50 points.
Sounds about right. Yeah, is that something that you did often?
Procrastinating work to watch college basketball. Yes, that was something I did a lot. Excellent
job. So I don't know. What do you got here with this Zags team? They took care of business easily against St. Mary's last time out, and I don't know. But they haven't played in a while. Does that make a difference? Are they rusty? Can the best team in the country be rusty?
Just to put into perspective, St. Mary's has had to go through at least one round, played one of the worst offensive games I've seen all year. I put the game on briefly. They played Loyola Marymount on Saturday. I believe it was 26-24 with about 15 minutes left in the second half.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That ended up being 52-47. Yeah,
they didn't even break 100. But St. Mary's, this team is going to play at its normal pace, which is extremely slow. It's one of the.
I think they're 350th in the nation in pace.
Yeah. One of the slowest teams in the country every single year, and it's proven in the past that that's how you beat Gonzaga. You force them out of transition. You keep the game slow. But the question is St. Mary's good enough to actually hang around? The short answer is probably no. However, Gonzaga has not played since February 27th. So you have to wonder if the layoff is going to be noticeable because it's been over a week since Gonzaga played. I think if it does impact anybody, it would impact Gonzaga in the first half. I think as this game goes on, though, St. Mary's just doesn't have enough weapons. This team just can't score the ball. And I know that a lot of it's system-based, you might argue, but I can't. This team's averaging about 64 points per game. Like, you can't go into Gonzaga. You can't go against Gonzaga in a neutral, average 64 points per game. Gonzaga's averaging about 93. Like, this is going to be a problem.
Yeah, although the Zags have put up 73 the first time against St. Mary's when they didn't cover 73-59, and did a little better last time out 87-65 where they covered the 20 and a half, covered it by a point and a half. So Gonzaga has this weird habit of playing St. Mary's close
Mhm.
late in the season and in the tournament. Oh God, I hate to fade the Zags, buddy. I really do. But
I think it's a correlated parlay spot. I think you can parlay St. Mary's on the under because realistically, if St. Mary's is going to cover this number, Gonzaga is going to have to score less than 80.
142 is the number there.
I think you'd agree with that. If Gonzaga scores 80, it's going to turn into a rout.
Yeah, I don't. They're going to have to put up. The St. Mary's have to put up 65 to keep it close. That seems
You're
unlikely.
looking at about 80 to 62 if you want to talk about the actual team totals, stuff like that. If St. Mary's actually going to cover, there's no way Gonzaga's getting to 80. I think you'd agree with that.
I don't know that I would. I think
Really?
we'll get close, but I think St. Mary's getting to 67, 68 is not outside the realm of possibility. I think Gonzaga, if they get to 85, it's over.
I'm just going to say the last 3 games that St. Mary's has played has scored 58, 51, 52.
I know. But again, they put up 65 against Gonzaga last time out. So.
Correct. I'm just throwing it out there. The team offensively, or lack thereof, the team has won in spite of its offense. Let's put it that way. So if I was going to play it, truth is, I actually think St. Mary's plus the points and the under is a decent way to look at this if you want to get some extra value.
Yeah.
Because that way, if you lose once instead of backing both and straight bets. I think that's a decent correlated parlay.
St. Mary's covering and the over does seem a little unlikely. Although, so you give them. So where does that put us? What do you say? 142 is the number there.
I said 80-62 is the score that you'd need to push on both.
80-62 is your push. Yeah.
I said if Gonzaga gets over 80, you're probably screwed.
Yeah, I see. I think St. Mary's gets a few more than that. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. But it also depends on how Gonzaga comes out. If Gonzaga does come out extremely flat, like you think they might, that definitely bodes well for the under. I think if you're a little bit afraid of the full game under, maybe the first half under. If you think Gonzaga's going to come out a little bit rusty and St. Mary's pace is going to slow to a crawl, that might be a good recipe for a first half under. If you want to look at it that way.
BYU, you a believer in the Cougars?
Well, we don't have a number here, but I have looked at.
I've got a number. BYU -9, 148.5.
Okay, that's on Bet Online.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so Pepperdine this season has been pretty up and down. This team has some pretty good guards, mostly Ross, who I just think is a very, very good player. You also have Edwards in the forward spot is pretty good. BYU, surprisingly this year, though, actually a pretty good defensive team, which has definitely not been the case for the last, I don't even know how many years.
Right.
Always been terrible at defense. You look at the actual meetings this season, they've played twice. Pepperdine ended up winning won at home by 3. It was back-to-back, lost the first game at BYU by 11. Also pretty interesting totals there. First game ended up landing at 119. Second game ended up landing at 149. So you have seen a little bit of, two different styles of basketball. I'd say one fast-paced, one slow. For this one, though, I'm actually thinking about leaning under. It seems a spot where BYU, we talked about how Gonzaga hasn't played for a while. BYU also had the bye, so it hasn't played in a while. And BYU's defense has actually been really good lately. I think that this game will be close, but at the end of the day, I think BYU will win. I would probably have to consider taking the points with Pepperdine because, once again, BYU has also not played since February 27th. But I'm kind of just going to assume they're going to come out a little bit sluggish offensively. I'll lean to the under.
And I know they're playing anytime they're playing at a neutral location, you always have to worry about shooting backgrounds, and it's the first couple of rounds. The under is a pretty good trend to ride there as well. So I think the two teams that have played under so far this season, I think that's a solid play as well. Mm-hmm. Anything else from the card got you?
Well, truth is, I'm still waiting for lines in about 90% of these games, but I'm going to be making a play today in the morning. But looking at the other lines that I do have, might be time to start talking about the MAC Football Basketball Conference, which is the Horizon League, which is just absolutely crazy. It's one of the only conferences where you have a 1 seed playing against basically a 7, and the 1 seed is laying only 3.5.
Yeah, 3.5. It's a 1-8 game. Yeah,
The 1-8 game. That's yeah, that definitely is not something you would see in other conferences.
And that's Cleveland State, and that's the Cleveland State Milwaukee game.
Yep.
So and I do have a premium on that game. That is my only premium of the day. You got any thoughts on that?
If I really had to play it, I don't want to take the side because you've seen so many overtime games and everything like that with this conference. I don't want to bother. But Milwaukee's been a good over team, so I'd have to take the over. Plus, with this conference, there's always usually overtime. I don't know what the odds are for an individual game, probably in the single digits. Why do I feel like every Horizon League tournament game has like a 25% chance to go to overtime?
Yeah, they have this year. It's been an overtime fest for sure.
So I'd have to lean over.
All right.
Same thing with the Northern Kentucky Oakland game.
Yeah, that's a point.
At the end of the day, you have an overtime draw in your back pocket, and you feel like even if this game is destined to go under, all it takes is one tie game, and you just see 20-something points in overtime, and suddenly you're kicking back and relaxing. So I don't want to play the under in any of those conference games.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
No, not really. It's kind of tough since I don't have lines on most of the games that I might be interested in.
You mentioned that, yeah.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. So I definitely would have more opinions if I had lines on it. I didn't even know you had a BYU line. But either way, no, hopefully just get some competitive games of a couple of conference tournament finals. So there will be a couple more tickets punched. And hopefully the games are entertaining.
All right, very good. All right, guys, as always, this is the week, man. If you're looking for more information on some of these small college schools, there is just one place to shop, and that is winnersandwhiners.com. Deep dives into every game, every single day. Small college masters over there is what they are. Just like this crazy kid right here, man. You ask him, you are a font of information, my friend. You eat, sleep, and breathe college basketball. I'm impressed as always.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, the good thing is that after college basketball is over, we have a little bit of FCS to keep us busy. Overlap.
Yeah, that'll be fun. And then on to baseball, where you know next to nothing. So
I follow baseball.
You always say that, but you're a decent baseball capper. You came around last year.
Well, talk about capper or just pure knowledge?
No,
baseball I thought was fine last year. It's historically not one of my better sports compared to basketball, but I definitely follow baseball and I know a lot of trivia stuff.
Hockey, I don't know nothing about hockey.
Hockey, I also know a decent amount of. How about those Islanders?
My favorite joke. How about those Islanders looking good?
It also helps when you play Buffalo, for a full weekend and you win.
That's very nice.
All 3 games by the score of 5-2.
That Sabres team's not good. Not good, my friend.
They're all.
All right. So as always, check out winnersandwhiners.com, of course. And, we wish you guys nothing but the best today. Hey, don't forget to check out Scott and I on our new fancy radio show. We're going to be doing an afternoon drive down in Tampa Bay, brother, at WWPR 1490. You can find that if you're in Tampa at 1490 on the AM dial. That's right, AM. It's coming back, baby. If not, make sure you check it out. It is on the computer. Go to the WWPR website, click the Listen Live button, and you will be tuned into even more of us. So that'll be fun for everybody.
You also have fan interaction there.
What's that?
We have a little bit of audience interaction if you're.
That's correct. We're gonna do a segment at the very end where you can call in and get our opinion on any game that you want. So that'll be fun. We're gonna call it a little snap cap there. So stay tuned for that. It should be a blast. Thanks for listening to us. Thanks for watching us on the YouTubes. We appreciate it. Couldn't have done it without each and every one of you. Hey, don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to win today. Wish you nothing but the best on all your plays. Hope every one of those tickets in your pocket turned into green folding money back at the window. You guys have a great day. For myself, for Scott Reichel, for all of us over here at Winners and Whiners, thanks a lot for being here, and we'll see you tomorrow on Today in Sports Betting.